7:13 is the time. This fall, voters will decide on an ordinance that, if passed, would establish the Housing Trust Fund here in New Orleans. Now, the measure was passed this week by the full council, landing it on the ballot in November. So we don't want you to be surprised when you go to vote and you see this. So just want to take a listen, and we'll have more on exactly what this is so you can make that vote. If approved by voters, more New Orleanians will have access to safe and affordable housing. City Councilmember Lesli Harris is here joining us in studio with some more background on this proposal. And I think you hear the words more affordable housing in New Orleans, and I mean, it's going to spark everyone's attention immediately because that's a big issue.
It's a huge issue. We know that most renters are cost burdened, and there's a lot of homeowners who are also cost burdened and can't afford mortgage payments or rental payments. And so making sure that we have an adequate stock of safe, affordable housing is what this Housing Trust Fund will do. So the voters will go on November 5th and hopefully press yes to vote for the Housing Trust Fund Charter Amendment. What it would do is take 2% of the city's budget, about $17 to $20 million a year, and we would invest in affordable housing initiatives.
And is that funding coming from something else that, you know, I guess, well, it obviously has to come from something in the city's budget, but how is that being decided?
Sure. So we have a surplus right now, and it's a big surplus. And so we would take 2% of the general fund. And as you know, we pay taxes every single year into the general fund. Let me be clear, this is not a new tax. What it is taking money that already exists as we pay taxes and putting it into a special fund so that we have certainty about affordable housing and funding for affordable housing year over year, so we can make those critical investments to make sure that renters aren't living in horrible conditions like we see at Park Fontaine and some of the other places, and to make sure that people have money for down payment assistance and for soft second mortgages.
I love that. So it's reallocating money that's already there, that's just sitting and putting it into a really great cause, really into the hands of people who would be directly voting on this. Talk a little bit about then, you know, once this is voted, how that would work. Has that process been figured out yet?
That's what we did yesterday. So we passed an ordinance to direct exactly how the money would be allocated and who would administer it. And so the New Orleans Housing Redevelopment Authority and Finance New Orleans would be the two agencies who determine how the money is split and allocated among three priority areas: the creation of affordable rental housing, the maintenance of affordable rental housing, and the creation of home ownership opportunities. And so I'm really excited about it because those organizations have been around for 40 years, have worked together on amazing projects, including the Louisiana Firehouse that's coming up soon. And so again, these are agencies that we know and we trust and can use the money for good to reinvest in our community.
Absolutely. If more people are able to rent and buy and continue to create these neighborhoods, then we're putting that money back into our
economy. And we're growing our population. So we know that a lot of folks are moving out to Kenner and Westwego and Gretna. What we want to do is make sure that New Orleanians can stay in New Orleans in safe, affordable housing. Again, this is reinvestment of money that's already there, not a new tax, not a new millage. It really is just allocating 2% of the city's general fund into this Housing Trust Fund so that the city reinvests in itself, that we reinvest in ourselves and strengthen our communities.
Absolutely. And so if anyone wants to learn a little bit more or be prepared for when they have to go vote, where would you send them?
Sure. So there's a website. It's called yes2nolahousing.com. So you can learn more there. It'll be all over my social media, so you can check it out there as well. We'll have yard signs eventually, and it's really going to be a campaign. So if you want to learn more, go to yes2nolahousing.com.
Awesome. Lesli Harris, thanks so much for being in with us
you.
And explaining a little bit more about this. I think it'll definitely help the voters. So, you know, we're going to continue to follow up with this, and you can read more about the Trust Fund Ordinance on our website as well, wwltv.com. We also have this interview that will be live on our website if you'd like to go back over and just get those details before you head out to vote. And you want to make sure you do vote.